Good evening. Welcome to Paxton Road TV. It's Premier League weekend and Tottenham Hotspur versus Chelsea at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Join us as we take you through the preview show. Welcome to all the followers watching, whether you're watching on us on any social media platform. Thank you for joining us. Like I said, this is the Tottenham Hotspur versus Chelsea preview show. We will be taking you through the stats and everything else that you need to know. Joining me tonight is Sean Hurl, the one and only Hotspur Hurley. Good evening, and how has your week? How has your week been, my friend?
Yeah, I've been a bit unwell, so I've been off work. But yeah, I'm fighting fit now that I'm ready to take on this game. I'm actually going to be in the stadium for a change. Not a game I look forward to. Not a game. I'm sick and tired of going to watch Chelsea at our place. We just don't turn up. So yeah, let's hope that they've used the week usefully at Hotspur Way, and we can get a result on Sunday.
Absolutely. And before we go any further, please subscribe, please like, and most importantly as well, leave your comments in the section. We will read as many as we can. Whatever your thoughts, whatever your opinions, we read them out. And at the end of the day, we're all Spurs fans and we all have our opinions. So it's been an interesting week. Bentancur has been officially ruled out for the whole season and the beginning of next season. It's an ACL injury. It's one of them where, you know what, does the player ever come back as good as he was before he has the injury? And also with our medical team and whatever, it's going to be an interesting. And I've also heard today that Bissouma's done for the season as well now, not 4 to 6 weeks. I don't know how true that is, but that's another one. So for me, the summer window is going to be very, very interesting. However, let's not talk about all that. Let's talk about the positives. Sean, West Ham game last week. I know we've done the match reaction as well. Are you going to be expecting more of the same this weekend at Chelsea? Or do you think Chelsea will give us a little bit more than West Ham did last week?
Yeah, I mean, I've been reading and sort of following the sort of machinations of what's going on at Chelsea. Obviously, the Chelsea fans are up in arms and they're already calling for Potter's head. But I was watching the game against Southampton. They had an awful lot of chances. I mean, there was more than one goal line clearance by Southampton. It was really a kind of backs to the wall performance in many ways. They scored an absolute worldie with James Ward-Prowse, and they defended for their lives. So, you know, it just seems to be that they're not clicking in the final third. Now, that always sends alarm bells. But, you know, if you need a team to click in the final third, you know, it seems to be us that's on the receiving end. But I do feel that given the week that we've had to prepare, which has been a rarity this season, I do feel that we'll match them. We should match them, but I don't expect the game to be pretty. I do expect it to be a bit gritty, and you know, let's hope that we take the points. And I can't think of a word that rhymes with gritty.
Shitty.
Yeah, let's not be shitty. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? If I totally understand what you're saying, this is one of them games where they've always got the upper hand, no matter which team goes into the game on form. We've done it. How many times have we done it where we've been the form team? At the beginning of the season, when we went there, they were saying we were the form team, we were the favourites, but we went down and then took Harry Kane towards the end to get us a point. It's happened time and time again, whether it's at Stamford Bridge or at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium or White Hart Lane, where we always go into this game really, really optimistic, really confident, and for some reason whatsoever, they just turn us over. We don't put in performances. And like you said, they've got big issues in terms of the manager. And I don't know how true the rumours were, but Poch, apparently they approached Poch and he's turned them down. They had a meeting yesterday, emergency meeting yesterday, so it's not all is not looking good at Stamford Bridge. And do we really care? No, we don't, But if there's one game where they're going to turn up, fans, players, managers, coaches, doctors, fitness, everyone, it's going to be on Sunday, because they always do against Tottenham, But we've come into this game after a good win against West Ham last week. First off was the usual, second half was a really good performance and we won the game 2-0. If that doesn't boast confidence in the players going into the game on Sunday, then you know what? It's one of them, isn't it? And also, one question I'm going to ask you as well is the Stellini effect going to be with them again on Sunday, or is it a blessing in disguise that Conte is not going to be there again and it's Stellini? And do you think the players again will perform like they have done when Conte's not been there?
Yeah, I do feel that the more it goes on, the more it becomes an issue, doesn't it? Conte becomes an issue. Yeah. That he almost bullies the players and they go into their shell a bit. Certainly Stellini appears to be a much more, you can imagine him being the arm around the shoulder kind of coach, which possibly some of our guys need. And, it's an incredible record. Every time he stood in for Conte, he's won the game, including, really tough games for us. If you think about it, Marseille away in the Champions League, Man City at home in the Premier League. And, long may it continue,
Absolutely.
I'm hoping that, I was a bit concerned about this sort of managing by text message that seemed to be the message that came out of the West Ham game, that they wanted to make a substitution, Stellini and Mason wanted to make the substitution, but they had to get the say-so from Conte back home. And I just thought, how long does that take? Does that delay things? And, in the course of a game, does that make you vulnerable? If a player is, clearly they feel needs to be taken off.
Yeah.
You're waiting to hear from Turin whether you can do it or not. Something could happen, something could happen, So I hope that's more just, I don't know, one for the press and the media to keep them quiet. But yeah, certainly I've watched Stellini's pre-match presser today a couple of times. He seems to suggest that Conte is getting better day by day.
Good.
He still didn't put a date on when he returned. He just said soon.
Yeah.
I would hope that there's no rush to come back.
No.
With the cup match in a couple of weeks' time. So, but yeah, let's see that let's Stellini do his job. Him and Mason seem to be working together. He's very keen in his press conferences to talk up the influence of Mason. So. Let's hope it's a good one for us on Sunday, and I'm looking forward to being there.
I'm gonna give everybody. Where's my guy Juice? He's not in. I'm gonna give him 3 songs now, because it could go 3 ways, isn't it? It could be
3 ways.
It could be, hello, is it me you're looking for? Or could it be Stellini ringing up and going, I just called to say, who shall I take off? Or could it be, hello from the other side? Anyway.
Worse still, it could be hanging on the telephone.
Yeah.
Could be hanging on the telephone.
Right. Let's get into this then. It's Tottenham Hotspurs versus Chelsea at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and let's do this. Here we go. So, Sean, league table as it stands. Them at top on 54 points. Then it's Manchester City, Manchester United, Tottenham Hotspur. We have got 42 points from 24 games. And at the bottom of the screen is Chelsea, 23-31 game points. So they've played a game less than us and they're 11 points behind us. So if we beat them at the weekend, we can have a 14-point gap. Now, we've discussed this many times before. As the table says, the table never lies. Thoughts on the table and the 11-point gap. Is that just it's what it is, or can they bring it back to us? If they beat us on Sunday, can they then close the gap and potentially get top four?
I think even in the wildest dreams of a Chelsea fan, top four must appear like like climbing Mount Everest. But yeah, I'm more concerned about Liverpool in terms of teams that catch them because of their history, their recent history.
Yeah,
I don't really have much experience of Chelsea chasing down.
Yeah.
Even when they won the league, they used to be miles ahead and just stay ahead. I think many people have written the season off at Chelsea.
Yeah.
There's some talk that it could be Potter's last game if we give them a drubbing.
Yeah.
I don't expect that. We'll get to that later. But I think they're in a tough situation.
Yeah.
They bought a lot of good individuals, but as yet they haven't got a team. They haven't got a team out of that. I was surprised to see Reece James on the bench last week. I don't think that will be repeated because Reece James always plays well against us. So
yeah. So one thing I was looking at, right, is if you look at it, we've scored 44. They've only scored 23 with what they've got and the attacking and the whatever. 35 we've conceded, but they've only conceded 23. So their goal difference is 0, whereas ours is 9. With what they've got, they've only scored 23 goals. And now you look at the strike forces and the players that they've got in them positions. It's interesting, isn't it? It's very interesting where we've almost scored double the goals they've scored.
Well, yeah, I mean, it just goes to show how important your striker is. I think Stellini said in his pre-match presser, he said that we've got the points that we deserve, which was an interesting admission on his part. But Chelsea, obviously, I mean, when I saw that the recruitment prior to the season, Koulibaly and people like this, I thought, well, they're going to strengthen their defence. They obviously lost Rudiger to Real Madrid, and it was obvious that's where they needed to improve. But they do seem to have neglected their front line, and obviously the I don't know what you call it. The visitation by Lukaku in and out of Stamford Bridge has caused absolute havoc there.
It has.
They don't seem to have a number 9, whereas we have probably 2 number 9s. But obviously we have a world-class number 9 who happens to wear number 10.
We'll see. Let's see. Right. So, last 5 games. We beat West Ham 2-0 at home. They lost to Southampton 1-0. We lost to Leicester 4-1. They drew with West Ham. We beat Man City 1-0. They drew with Fulham 0-0. We beat Fulham 1-0. They drew with Liverpool 0-0. We lost to City 4-2, and they beat Palace. So we've won 3, lost 2. They've won 1, drawn 3, lost 1. I'm going to ask you a quick question, and I just want a brief answer because obviously I don't want to delve too much into this one because we've got a couple of more slides. Does the form guide, as in the last 5 games, does that stats, the results, mean anything going into the game on Sunday?
Well, I like to think that we know how to defend a lead. If you think about our victories, are all with clean sheets. But
yeah,
I think I think Chelsea have failed to click in some of their games, and I mean, I thought they were better against Liverpool than the 0-0 deserves, for example. So I don't. Current form, particularly London derbies, means sweet FA, as they say.
exactly.
So.
And they've only scored 2 goals in them 5 games. But as you've said, and David is saying in the comment section, they've had a lot of opportunities, a lot of clearances off the line, a lot of missed chances and stuff like that. So it's going to be an interesting one. Right. Here we go. So as it stands, we're 4th. They are 10th. We've won 13. Chelsea have won 8. We've drawn 3. They've drawn 7. We've both lost 8 games each. Average goals per match is 1.83. Now, this is a bit that Sam's likes, but he's not here at the moment. He might join us at some point. We might get him to discuss that. Their average goal scored is 1. We're conceding 1.46, whereas they're only conceding 1. 8 clean sheets each, and chances created 1.54, 1.48. So looking at that, Sean, anything sticks out to you, or are we, apart from I think average goals scored per match where we're scoring more, anything stick out for you there?
No, I mean we're quite even, Stephen, aren't we? When you look at those those statistics, and again, as we've indicated, they have had their lack of luck in front of goal. And long may that continue. That can continue at least until Monday morning, hopefully. But it's again, it's a tight game. Always will be a tight game. As long as we are playing the team, not the club. Chelsea and Man United seem to be those teams that we it's the reputation, or we play something, we play within ourselves in a shell almost, and we just cannot afford to do that on Sunday.
What worries me, right? Well, it's not worrying, but you see here, 1.83, we're scoring 1.83, as opposed to they're only scoring 1. However, we're conceding 1.46 and they're only conceding 1. And for any neutral this weekend, both teams are creating almost 1.5 chances. 1.54 as opposed to 1.48. So it's going to be an interesting one. Like you said, firepower. We've got the firepower. They haven't really got it together. I mean, I've heard Aubameyang's back firing. Well, not firing, but he's back for the weekend. Right. Last 5 meetings. So, starting from 2020, Chelsea 0, Spurs 0. And then February 2021, Spurs 0, Chelsea 1. 2021 September, Spurs 0, Chelsea 3. Chelsea 2, Spurs 0, January 2022. And 14th of August 2022, I think third game into the season, Spurs drew 2-2 with Chelsea. So looking at that, Sean, doesn't look very good, does it?
No, I don't think, someone was saying that we haven't actually scored against them in a league game at home in our new stadium.
There you go.
And I do remember traveling down to a Frankie Lampard performance where Willian scored 2 goals and absolutely took the mickey out of us. So we're not. It's one of those games. I really do not like Chelsea for starting the distortion of football with the an owner who could afford to underwrite them by £1 billion a year. It's just a nonsense. And I want to win this game more than more than ever. But yeah, it could be close. I just hope that we've worked on our thing, and we have the answers for whatever team they pick, which is going to be. I mean, if you're a Chelsea fan doing a preview, it must be really difficult to work out who you're going to pick. You've got about 50 players, it seems, that to choose from. I do believe Conte is back. He always plays well against us.
He's in training. He's not fit yet for another couple of weeks. But like we said, it's about Chelsea picking their team. It's like the NFL draft, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It is. Yeah. It's just like, it's almost like, and they've probably got another 40 out on loan across Europe as well.
Another 35 coming in at the end of the season.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Looking at that, though, if you're somebody who's just tuning in and you're neutral and you're looking at that, you'll be probably thinking, oh, wow, Spurs ain't got anything on Chelsea here, because you've got draw, lost, and a draw. So 2 draws and 3 defeats. And we, like you said, we just don't turn up against them. I don't know what it is.
You can throw in a couple of cup games as well last year. Right. Remember? Yeah. We played them 3 times in January last year.
Yeah, and we lost them all. Oh, my
God.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, we're depressing ourselves now, but right. Here we go. Head to head. This is the bit where normally we're quite all right, but this one, I don't like it. Right. 61 times we've played. We've got 7. That's right. 7 wins. They've got 33 wins. We've got 6 wins at home. They've got 19 wins at home. We've won once away at Stamford Bridge, whereas they've won 14 times White Hart Lane and the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So the last 5 fixtures, not including the cup games, doesn't bode well for us. If you're looking at the head-to-head, Sean, what does the head-to-head tell you?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a game that we've struggled. It didn't used to be, but certainly since the arrival of the big money at the club, it became even worse. But I think, even previous, I remember a 6-1 at home. Yeah, beaten 6-1 at home. Oh, just awful. And yeah, that they're going to be up for it, as we know. They're going to be up for it. But, we've got to take credit from, West Ham. They're always up for it. We did more than dealt with them. Fulham away not many teams are taking points away from Fulham at their place.
Yeah.
We did a good job that night. Man City, who, I think was our best performance of the season. They're all within living memory, but also is that atrocious performance at Leicester.
Yeah.
Are we going to be Leicester or are we going to be Man City? Let's please be Man City.
This is the thing, innit? This is the question. Right, let's quickly go through some of these comments and then obviously we'll go through the right. Evening, Sid and Sean, surely this is our time to beat them. Mark, we always, beginning of the season, we said that a few times. It's our chance. We did that against City. We've done that against Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United. You name it, and we say that. But we, in our hearts, think this is the time to beat them. But it's whether them players on the day actually, like Sean said at the beginning, let's not play. Are you playing the occasion or are you playing the team? And we always play the occasion, and we end up getting beat, and we sometimes get beat convincingly. Mr. Dinosaur is saying here, where are we? Here we go. We need the Conte team talk, but not the on-field micromanagement. I think it stops the players from playing free. Do you agree with that one?
I think it does appear from the naked eye that is an issue.
Yeah.
But let's. I just hope that we can play as well as we did in the second half against West Ham, and for the whole 90 minutes, to be fair, against Man City.
Yeah. We have to say a big hi to the Chelsea fan, NS Sports TV. Good evening.
Hi.
And big up. Hopefully, it'll be a big down for you guys on Sunday. David Clark, our resident fellow resident Leicester Tottenham fan. Hi from Leicester. Chelsea are going to be very dangerous. The chances they are missing with clearances off the line and hitting the woodwork. So if we are complacent, then it will bite us on the arse. 100% agree with you. That we said that, aren't we? That they are creating, they are very dangerous because you look at the players they've got, right? They can create. Defensively, they're a little bit rocking as well. But I think David's right. If we allow them to play, if we're very complacent, then I think Chelsea will capitalise on that, and I think they will, score. Agree with that one, Sean?
Yeah, we need 8s and 9s of 10 out of 10 out of our back line, and it'll probably be a back five, I would imagine. So yeah, we need our midfield to step up as well in their defensive roles.
Exactly. David's also saying, see, Chelsea aren't scoring goals because of missed chances, but they are barely conceding any goals. Yeah, they've conceded 23. We've conceded 38, I think, or 35. And I agree with you on that one. But if our front three fires and the players that we've got on the bench, I think we can cause them trouble. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see. And David's also saying here, don't forget we have Emerson Royal. Right. So I was going to talk to you about
that. That is a statement you never thought that you would be making in such a positive way. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, before we wrap up, in terms of match players on Sunday, who do you expect to start? Or would you keep the same team from the team at West Ham?
Personally, I would pick the same starting 11, including Richarlison.
Yeah.
He needs a run of games to get match fit or take the rust out of his match game. Yeah. I do think Chelsea would, defensively will not fancy late on having to face, Son coming on with 15, 20 minutes to go, or in order to run them a bit ragged. I think Richarlison and Reece James will be a good contest, and it will be a contest. And maybe it is a game where you need a bit of the dark arts or the S-housery to get involved in. You need to stand up for yourself, because it is a game that you can allow them to dominate you. I would go personally. I would go with the same starting lineup. I know some people say, "Well, Son came on and scored. What more do you want?" I said, "Yeah, but I do feel that in order we're going to need our whole squad." I think Stellini was alluding to about 4 games in 10 days or something coming up. So we're going to have quite a lot of football, and I would rather have our forwards, all our forwards, getting a sight of the pitch, that I would certainly start the same team as West Ham.
So we won last week, right? 2-0 in the end with that team. Richarlison obviously then went off. He made quite a lot of substitutions. In training this week, then obviously Stellini's been looking at the players. Has he then been given instructions by Conte? Do you think Conte will? Do you think Conte will pick the team on Sunday, or do you think Stellini will pick the team? Because Stellini's been with them players all week. He's trained them, right? So he will know which players have been performing in training, which players will suit the system, which players he can trust. Or will it be again Conte on the phone telling him, right, thanks for taking the training this week. I wasn't there. I don't know who's done what, but this is what I want you to start with. Or will Stellini then turn around and say, well, hold on a second. This player's played well. This player's played well. What happens with that in that sense? Do you think Conte will? And just do you think Conte will pick the team, or do you think Stellini will have the final say and say, well, I've had him for the whole week?
I think, I mean, from what Stalini was saying today in his press match conference, he was saying they speak 3 times a day and sometimes in the evening. I think they've set up an arrangement where Conte can see training now. So
yeah,
whether they've set up a video thing, he can have a bit more idea. But I do think it will be Stalini and Mason picking the team with Conte having the last word.
Cool. Right, ladies and gentlemen, the main man, the second main man, the third main man, however you want to call him.
The top man. He's the top man.
In fact, tonight he's called the late man with the late man. It's Sam, Spurs for life. Good evening, Sam.
Yeah,
Thank you for joining us. Better late than never. How are you?
Doing? You're confusing me. Where am I going on the screen?
You're
Don't
here.
know where to look. Oh, right there. Okay, cool. Sorry about that, gentlemen.
That's all right.
Just stuff I had to do, and I am going away, so that's why. Anyway, 2-1. Am I late? Is that my own time for that bit? That's what
you're a bit early.
Oh,
you're a bit early for that. Right.
Okay, that's cool.
So we've done most of the stuff. Actually, we've done majority of it. However, I'm just going to pull it back for 1 or 2 slides because I know you love these slides, right? So I'm going to put it on screen, and we've discussed it, but I want your thoughts on it because you love this bit, right? So, Sam, where am I? Okay. Positions. We've won 13, they've won 8. We've both lost 8 games each. And I know you like this bit. Average goal scored, we're scoring 1.83 compared to their 1. And we're conceding 1.46 to their 1. And chances created 1.54 to their 1.48. Talk to me about your favourite bits on that. What do you think?
So I, as I said, if you just watch Chelsea are a bit all over the place. Not because they don't have the players, but because obviously they're all just new to the club. You've got Graham Potter new to the club. He's got a bag full of riches there, but I'm not sure he's going to be the right man to lead them through. They're saying that this game could be his last game if he doesn't get a victory. But when you look at 1.83 to 1, 1.46 to 1 in terms of the average goal scored per match and the average goal conceded per match, that's so un-Chelsea-like. So the best time to play them is to Sunday. Because the pressure will be really ramped up on them. They'll need to get a victory. We know that. As Spurs fans, we know what could happen. Dr. Tottenham could show up. But if we don't beat them on Sunday, we never get enough better chance to beat them.
Yeah. And then this slide, I know you like this one. You'll absolutely love this one. There you go. Last 5 meetings. 0-0, 0-1, 0-3, 2-0, and 2-2. So we've lost 3 and we've drawn 2 against Chelsea. We've not beaten them in the last 5 games. And as Sean pointed out, don't forget the cup games that we played them as well last season. So it's about
we got turned over. We got turned over by Chelsea last season.
So
and this is the point. So we could look at Dr. Tottenham in reverse. He could be coming to see us now because we ain't won. We don't usually beat Chelsea. Very rarely do we beat Chelsea. Was it the Dele Alli one that goes back? Was how far do we go back? It
goes back quite far. I'm not too sure how.
When was our last home win against Chelsea? Because I can't even remember that myself. In terms of a league game, and this is the problem. Chelsea are, if we're a bogey team to Manchester City, they are 100% to us. Because I remember only seeing 1 victory against them at home in my time watching Spurs in terms of going to games. But yeah, it's going to be a tough game. But I just think if we don't beat this Chelsea mob, because next season they're going to be better. Whoever they've got in charge, they're going to be better. So this is the time now to take advantage of that. No Aspilicueta, he's out. So experience-wise, what they're going to do.
We've got million players to choose from. Right, here we go. Head-to-head. Played 61. We've won 7. They've won 33. We've won 6 at home. They've won 19 at home. We've won 1 away, and they've won 14 away with 21 draws.
That is absolutely terrible. I didn't know it was that bad. I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah, I mean, they've had this. My late mum would have said the Indians sign over us for a very long time in the Premier League. And even before Abramovich turned up,
Yeah,
they used to regularly beat us. And I don't know what it is. It never used to be that way, but we do seem to be playing against the occasion rather than the team. And some pretty poor Chelsea teams have beaten us as well. So
I know. Yeah, and you're right, Sean. Poor Chelsea teams have beaten us, but they've had some really good teams, obviously in the Abramovich era. But they've just been able to get over the line. 7 wins in total out of 61 games. That's terrible. That's terrible.
It's terrible, isn't it? Absolutely.
They could
terrible.
like what's his name used to say to us, it's only Tottenham. That's what Graham Potter should try and do this. It's only Tottenham, lads, because look at that record. That's his way of motivating them, look, because I don't know if he can organize that team well enough to beat an organized team that we have. But with the individual players that they have, we just need to turn up. And yeah, I'm hoping they don't, but I think we've got it. But that's a horrible record.
That's single figures, man. Single figures. Reveal yourself, as opposed to double figures on the other side. It is shocking, isn't it? Absolute shocking. Anyway, right. So let's take that off the screen then, because
we only won 6 at home. We've only won 6.
I remember under Martin Yeo, it was the first time we beat them in eons. And when Aaron Lennon scored the winner. I mean, that shows you how poor we have been at home and generally in this fixture. This fixture is it's an embarrassment. It really is an embarrassment.
It really is. Away from home, but sorry, I'm glad it's not away from home, because I don't think we would have won away from home. I think we could have probably taken a draw, because Chelsea are just Chelsea. But even a home game against Chelsea, with that record, you're not confident, but I have to be, because of the way Chelsea are playing this season and where they are in the league.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question then, and I'll ask people in the comment section as well. Why, or what is it with Spurs and Chelsea? Why can we not get over the line? Why do we always surrender? Yeah, and not perform in these games? What is there, and how can we now, going forward, overcome this? I'll start with you, Sam, first.
As I keep saying, the biggest problem for us as Spurs as a club is mentality. We lose to Chelsea. We lose to a lot of teams due to our mentality. We've seen the games, the Battle of the Bridge games, the most famous one where we had an opportunity to beat Chelsea. We had an opportunity to take points off them. I know it was a draw in that game, but we didn't. And that's mentality. Every time I've seen...
And worse still, Sam, sorry to jump in, we were 2-0 up.
Oh, yeah, and I was going to say, we're 2-0 up in that game, and we throw it. Every time I've seen us play against a team like Chelsea, in terms of we're expected to beat them because they're not doing that well, they just turn up the mentality side of things. So obviously the days gone by pre-Graham Potter, I think every manager just really just gets into the players. London derbies as well. It can only come down to mentality. I don't think, they've had better players in the Roman Abramovich era, but we can say that we've had some really closely matched teams, and that Battle of the Bridge game was one of the ones we should have won that game. And our history could be a lot different than it is at the moment. But yeah, sorry, Sid, it's only going to come down to our upstairs thinking.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Sean, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's purely a mentality thing. I mean, David has alluded to it. I've alluded to it. Chelsea in recent weeks have had a bit of bad luck in front of goal. I mean, the game against Southampton last week, I lost track of Southampton's clearances off the line. They hit the woodwork. It's almost like they're saving themselves for this week, for the dam to break, and I mean, we've just got to be on it from the first minute.
Yeah.
I think what's in our favour is that we've not been distracted this week. We've had a week to sort of prepare. So I'm hoping that we'll be up for it come Sunday.
The other thing is being at home as well. I think that's a massive thing. Even the way Chelsea are playing at the moment, away from home, Stamford Bridge, because it's us, they're going to turn up. Their fans are going to turn up. We've got the added advantage that our fans should do exactly the same. And I'm hoping that will be the case Sunday, because I'm going to be there.
Yeah, we're all going to be there. So
we're all going to be there.
Yeah, Paxton Road TV can lead the chance and lead the Spurs players to victory. Right. Dino Soseni, hola, el Capitan Sam. David Clark is saying, so that stats tells me that it's going to be a 1-0 win to Spurs. Good evening to Azzy. He's saying, in 3 away games at Chelsea, we only lost 1. That was just, that's only last 5 games. Spursy, good evening. Spursy 141. She's saying 2-1 to Spurs with Emerson and Kane. Polio 125 is saying time to beat Chelsea. Good evening, Mr. K is in the house as well. Good evening, Mr. K. What else is there? Polio 125 is saying Poch beat them 3-1 at Wembley. David Clark, I think if Silva plays, Spurs struggle. If he doesn't, then we win.
I tend to look at the other way around. I think I'd rather Thiago Silva play tomorrow. He ain't got them legs. I don't care what anybody tells me. He's good positionally, but he ain't got the legs. I'd rather that and let Kane mess him about a bit and, Kulusevski. But, yeah, we'll see.
Agree. Mr. K is saying here, no real backbone at the back and we're a donut. Nothing in the middle. And following on to that, as he's saying, Spurs aren't aggressive enough in derbies. And I think it's true. When was the last time we was actually last season when we battered Arsenal at home was the time. But apart from that, I don't know.
I'm hoping it means something to the players tomorrow. Sorry, Sunday. I keep saying tomorrow, Sunday. Because one, Stellini, as I keep saying, Stellini's got a different way, a different approach. I don't know. I'm sure I'm kind of touching. Are they? Who's picking a team is one thing. I've got to say it has to be Stellini, but he's going to have input from Conte. I just don't like this hybrid situation that we've got. If they're going to be on the bench, phoning, texting him, when should we make the subs, boss? 72 minutes, Stellini. Okay, boss. No, I don't want any of that bullshit. If that's the case, I don't know if that's fact, but this is what I've heard from the last game. I want Stellini to take charge. If he needs Ryan Mason there beside him to help with that, great. You can bring Yaya Toure in. Right? Why not bring him? Have him around the people as well. Bring the experience. He's a bloody winner. What's he just languishing in the youth setup for on match day? They used to do that with Ledley King. Why can't they do that with someone like Yaya Toure? We've got players around. Even Jermaine Defoe's in at the club, isn't he? Isn't he doing something in the
under 16s? Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's a bizarre one.
These are the baffling things that I don't get. These are the people that we should be seeing a lot of talking to these players. You know what it means? Jermaine Defoe in and around these players. They've been there. They've done it. We need all this type. We need all this type of stuff to break this mentality. We need people who have mentality.
Yeah,
we ain't got enough of them.
I agree. Right, it's come to that point in the show.
Oh, hold on a second. Before we go to this section, I think there's a question I answered. Sam never got a chance to answer. Is what team would he pick?
Oh yeah. So what we were saying, basically, what I said was, Stellini's been taking training all week, right? Conte's been on the phone, like you said. And I gave Sean 3 songs, but I won't repeat them, but you can watch it back later. So now, we had a good win last week. Stellini's had him all week for training. So who does he stick with the team that beat West Ham last week, or does he make changes? And if so, what would you change if you were Stellini?
Okay. Forster in goal, obviously. I'm not starting Porro. I'm going to play Emerson Royal in this game for the same reason I would have wanted him to start last week, because it's a London derby, because he knows he's been there. Porro hasn't got that experience, not because he's not good enough, but he ain't got the experience. Dyer, you know what? I'd probably, it's a toss-up now. Does he go with the Longlet, Ben Davis is but I think, no. Ben Davis did a good job last week. I'm going back with Perisic on there, and I'm going to put Ben Davis in alongside Dyer, Longlet on the bench. Midfield 2. You know what? I'm going to make one change. I'm going to put Sarr in there instead of Skip, and I'm going to put Højbjerg alongside him. The front 3, I think, is going to be the most interesting part, because I think he's going to bring Son back in. Although I don't think he should, I think Son will come back in. If I was Richarlison, I'd be gutted, because, this is the ideal game for him to be in. So the front 3, in my opinion, should be Richarlison, Kulusevski and Kane. That'll be my team.
Okay. So you're bringing in Perisic to start.
Perisic to start and Sarr to start.
And Sarr to start.
And yeah, so kind of a shift of Ben Davies back to his normal position.
And yeah, okay. Do you know what? I honestly believe, and I think Sean said this as well, I think he'll stick with last week. Because why would you then change a winning team that played quite well second half against West Ham? Son came off the bench, made an impact. So why would you then change it? Because he's done it before. Son scored a hat-trick against Leicester.
Yeah, Son wouldn't be in my starting 100% not in my starting 11. But I know what the club, we all know what the club's like. Yeah. I think they kind of get a little bit scared. I don't think we're big enough as a club mentally, again, to say to Son, you have a period of time on the bench, like how a Man United would do, like how a Man City would do. You know, they would leave. De Bruyne didn't play against us. You know what I mean? De Bruyne is their best player. I know they've got different qualities, all the rest of it. But it was a case of, you know, they rested him for a reason. There's players that got dropped out of certain teams and you're on the bench until you opportunity to come. Not because you've had one game on the bench, you then come on and scored, we're going to put you back in. Well, Son knows that now. If that's going to be the case, he'll be like, yeah, all right, I'll take a break. I'll have one game off. I'm in the next game. You can't have that in a football team. You can't. Yeah.
As he's saying, too many nice guys, too many nice fans. We make it easy for Chelsea. David Clark Silva doesn't need legs. His brain is superior.
Sure,
Jay Ashraf is in the house. They will target Forster with low shots. Don't say anything. Don't stop me. Paul 125 is saying Divine will be on the bench. As he's saying here, I'm glad Conte isn't there. He kept paying too many compliments to Chelsea last season. Be interesting to see why he thinks the great Chelsea aren't doing well this season. Mr. K is saying, sorry, Skip will start.
You're probably right.
And sorry, Sean, but I'm not gonna. Don't stop. We're not going to engage in the conversation on this one. But he's saying Davis instead of Perisic. I think.
No, I said that Davis should start. At left wing.
I think so as well. I
just see differently about the quality of Perisic. That's all.
Yeah. Right. This is the time. So, score prediction. Starting with you, Sam. What is your score prediction?
2-1. I said it as I came on screen, 2-1. Just for the fact that Chelsea have got enough quality in there to score goals. But the fact that we are at home, the fact that they are going through the transition, the pressure is ramped up on Graham Potter. Is he going to be able to just go out there and relax and play the game he wants? I don't think so. I think he's almost forced into playing certain players now, although I don't know what 11 he's going to pick. But I think he's now probably from a high level being forced to play certain players. Because of that, I don't think he's got enough freedom. Stellini, it's almost a free hit in a sense. He got the result against West Ham. I don't think many people, given the record that we've seen, would expect him to go out and massacre Chelsea. So, yeah, get us a victory. 2-1 will do me nicely. Kane, obviously, Kane's got to be in. I'm going to go for a Kane double.
Kane double. Okay, cool. And Spursy 141 is saying 2-1 to Spurs. Who else he's got? We've got somebody else mentioned a score line here. Where's it gone? Let me find it. We have Paulio 125 is saying 2-1 to Spurs.
Seems like a popular score line.
Mr. K said 4-1. Mr. K saying 4-1 to Spurs. Fingers crossed. Everything else crossed. Sean, prediction, please.
I think it's going to be 1-0, and I think it's time for Kulusevski to get on the score sheet.
Okay, 1-0. Right. My thoughts, they're not conceding. However, we're scoring. They're not scoring. We're conceding. So it's one of them. And I agree with what David and Sean, what we said at the beginning. If Chelsea at some point, all these chances that they are creating off the lines and whatever, knowing our luck, it's going to be off the line and then he's going to hit somebody on the bum or his back or something, or a Martinez last week where he's come off his head or whatever, and we're going to end up doing that kind of stupidness. But I honestly don't think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and I'm going to say 3-2 to Spurs. because I can see them scoring, and I can see us scoring as well. And I honestly don't know who's going to score for us, but I think Kane will score. I think Son will come off the bench and score if he starts. I don't know if he will. And I think who's going to score? Who's going to score? I think I don't know who, but I can see a header from a corner. Either Romero or Dyer or Langley or Davis. One of them will score a header from a corner. So 3-2 for me for Spurs.
Is that 1 foot centre back? I mean, that's going a bit far, isn't it?
I think one of them. All right, Eric Dyer from the corner or a free kick. But 3-2.
You finally got there in the end. Jeez, you went round the houses in that one, didn't you?
Yeah. But
the only thing I'll add is, as we talked about Brendan Rodgers a couple of weeks ago, this guy, Graham Park, is crafty. In terms of what I mean, crafty, is skilled in his tactical approach. He's a very tactical manager.
Yeah.
He will have his tactics right. It's whether or not the players that are employed for those tactics can carry out that without doing their own thing, because he's got a lot of individual talent within that Chelsea team. And I think that's his problem, is getting them to do exactly what he does on a regular basis. It takes time to do that. It takes time. It takes more than he's had. I just hope they don't get it right enough on the day on Sunday to individually beat us. That will be the only way Chelsea will beat us, in my opinion.
I agree. And you know what? It's an interesting, knowing our luck now, it's going to be 0-0. David Clark, Spurs 2, Chelsea 1, Kane's to score 1 and 1 on goal. Right, chaps. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you to everyone in the comment sections. Thank you for all your comments. Henry Segal is saying Emerson will score again. This was the preview show.
You won't score again ever. No, I'll tell you that. Not this season.
This was the preview show. Stay tuned for the reaction show. I don't know at the moment how that's going to work, because all three of us are going to be at the game. So it's going to be an interesting one. If it's not on Sunday, we can't do it on Sunday, then myself and Sean will try and do it on Monday, because that one up top is going to be somewhere in a hot country. Okay, Monday's Sean's not going to be available.
No,
let's try and do it Sunday. If I get back, if you can set it, if you host it,
yeah,
it just depends. It has to be later than the normal time that we do, because I've
fine.
got to travel back and stuff.
Cool.
But, might be in the evening time. So let the viewers know.
Also, there's the cup final on Sunday afternoon as well.
Yeah.
So let's look at Sunday evening. That might be a better opportunity.
Stay tuned for Sunday evening for the reaction show, whether we win, lose, or draw. But we're going to win, so it's going to be an entertaining one, because we're going to be celebrating a much well-deserved victory over them lot from Stamford Bridge. It's been an absolute pleasure hosting tonight. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Stay tuned, and we will see you Sunday.